Dark Knight's Death Metal Guidebook Issue 1 heads to before the fall of Earth, where the betrayed Lex Luthor tells the people to hold on to their memories and hold them close and hopes that makes them feel safe and at home, since these memories are all that exist of the old world. He knows that he's the only one who expected how quickly the world would fall, regaling the people with how on just a normal day the skies darkened and the storms begun. But the heroes were missing, since they were battling Perpetua, mother of the multiverse, and they were losing. The world was soon overrun by the Batmen, who soon set their sights on the remaining heroes, luring out Captain Atom and Firestorm, resulting in Captain Atom going nuclear and destroying much of the West Coast thanks to Dr. Arkham. Batmage meanwhile confronts the Justice League Dark and other magical heroes on Themyscira, ripping through the barriers of the island with a mere gesture before defeating the heroes. The Teen Titans and the Titans teamed to take the fight to Darkfather as the Suicide Squad took to the oceans to fight Bathumek, the Elder Beast Batman. The Living City Batman soon made an appearance, growing a giant castle in the middle of Gotham City as the Justice League returns, having used much of Wonder Woman's great strength to face Perpetua, but they fell short on the battle. However, the team sees the world on fire and gets to work, splitting up to fight battles on their home fronts, which was their first mistake. The League was picked off one by one by the Batman designed to take them down, resulting in Manhunter, Green Lantern, and Hawkgirl to be the first defeated. Batman knows that their only hope is fighting together as 20 Batmen come for him, but luckily he is saved by the Flash, allowing both heroes to call for help. But the final battle was underway, and Superman soon fell to Darkfather, and since the battle between Perpetua and Wonder Woman burned out the sun, Superman was forced to fuel the sun, becoming a deadly reminder of the cost of hope. Aquaman and Wonder Woman soon surrendered to save their respective worlds, and a week after the carnage, the Batman Who Laughs took control of everything, taking his crown and throne and reshaping the world into his own dark image. The people were rounded up and turned into villain soldiers as those who resisted were placed in Crisis Antenna, which fueled Perpetua as she destroyed Earth throughout the multiverse. The surviving heroes were rounded up and imprisoned in Apocalypse, and the villains were cast down into Hell, with Wonder Woman as their warden. Lex finishes his story to the arriving Batmen, telling them he started all this by unleashing Perpetua, so the Batmen ask what he's going to do about it, wondering if he will continue writing in his little book. Lex teleports away and continues to sketch out the destroyed Daily Planet he saw, saying this book contains what is, but also what has been forgotten, and with this, it may lead to Wonder Woman learning the truth she cannot remember, but one that also might destroy her. Arriving on the moon, Lex meets with Lobo, who doesn't care what happened to Earth, but he's being paid to work and wants to know what Luthor wants. Lex tells him that he is to find the final pieces of death metal before the Batman Who Laughs does, while he gathers other people. Lobo asks who are the others, and Lex says that it's time for him to bring back the Legion of Doom. In the Arkham Wastelands, Harley Quinn radios in to Dr. Arkham, telling him her tracker found something. She soon finds a hyena pup, saying that she would take it with her, but this isn't a humanitarian mission. Suddenly she is attacked by a group of mutants, saying that she isn't dying out in the wasteland. Instead, she knows she's dying in a champagne bath sprinkled with the ashes of her enemies, while Poison Ivy tells her about Tiger King. Suddenly there is an explosion as the very roided up Captain Boomerang blows the mutants away. Harley is happy to see her former teammate as she finds her suit has been ripped, allowing the mutant radiation to seep in and start to disfigure her skin. She realizes Digger is infected by the same radiation as she's smacked in the face by one of his bone boomerangs. The hulking boomerang charges at her but is suddenly eaten by the hyena pup, who over the course of the battle has been mutated into a giant beast. Harley falls in love instantly with it, saddling it up and riding it off into the sunset, saying that she's going to name him George. In the Seven Seas, Arthur Curry confronts the Umabozu, a very rare and old sea creature that eats the souls of ships, and currently Arthur's crew is on the menu. Arthur talks with the creature, asking it to join his fight against the villains, but the creature doesn't say anything. But Arthur knows that it doesn't matter if it can't talk or not understand, since if it's born of the sea, it will obey him. The creature attacks, so Arthur dives below the waves, knowing the creature doesn't stray far from these waters and maybe there's an ancient talisman or spell that binds it to the waters. Soon he he comes across a corpse tied to a shipwreck, realizing that this is all a curse. Bathumek soon confronts Aquaman, telling him that the creature won't obey him, hoping the hero remembers their bargain. Arthur knows that there was no bargain and he's now defying the villain. Bathumek grabs Arthur with his tentacles, telling the hero that the creature is to be destroyed or he will boil the seas with all the life in it, killing everything. With no other choice, Arthur frees the corpse from the ship with his trident. Doing so causes the Umabozu to burn up and die, lamenting the rhyme of the ancient mariner as it dissipates into the water around Arthur. In Hell, Poison Ivy manages to escape her inescapable cell, fleeing the horrific place in search of the sun and the breeze on her skin again. Soon she is attacked by the Warden of Hell, Wonder Woman, who tells her to return to her cell for her own good. Ivy refuses to, knowing that she would rather die than be entombed in a cursed hole. Diana tells her that it's for her own good, offering the lasso to show her the truth. Pamela refuses to be stuck in the darkness, throwing a bladed flower at the hero, who apologizes for what's coming next. Ivy manages to get past Diana, escaping the prison only to find the entire world has died, nothing but sand and dust in its wake. Diana feels her pain, and once Ivy is back in her cell, Diana returns with a plan for her, saying even if things seem irreparable, there are small grains of hope and they will take back this world. Ivy wants to know how, so Wonder Woman seals her promise with a small bit of the green in need of a caretaker. Diana leaves Ivy with her new plant friend, which begins growing rather quickly in her care. Elsewhere, Batman is confronted by the resurrected Jonah Hex, hoping the man remembers him, but he knows it depends on where in the multiverse he was resurrected. Batman notes that Hex's gun is empty, but the cowboy knows his axe is sharp, and he can use that to gut Batman. Batman knows that they are wasting time, but Hex reminds him of the Joker Dragon, which returns to attack them. Batman knows that they need to get to the crypt of the heroes, so the dragon is irrelevant. Batman's attention is taken elsewhere, and Jonah knows that he's talking with the ring, wanting to know its story. Batman, however, says that they can fight the dragon or save the multiverse, so he needs to choose, offering him one silver bullet. Hex reckons that he could probably kill the dragon with one bullet, but Batman knows it's not for that, and he will know what it's for when the time comes. Hex knows that that's the problem with these good guys who dress up like bad guys and try and achieve good with bad. Jonah figures out that the bullet isn't for the dragon or for the Batman who laughs, but for Batman himself if he ever loses an argument with a Black Lantern ring he's wearing. Batman reveals that the bullet is made from White Lantern energy, so it's only fitting that it was born in the alley where the bullet that took his father was from. Hex doesn't really care about his story about his father, since his father was a drunk who sold him into slavery, but he agrees to safeguard Bruce's sanity to save the multiverse. Bruce cuts him off, telling him that he wins and they will end up killing this dragon. Hex knows that Batman could use the ring to kill the dragon and fly to the crypt, but he also knows that the more he uses the ring, the more the ring begins owning him. Batman wants to know why Hex cares all about the killing the dragon, so Jonah tells Batman that the dead he raised deserved better than to be dragon food, and it's why Batman chose him, since thanks to being raised by Mescalero Apaches, he respects all living things, as well as dead things like the dragon, which he thinks that maybe at one time was a bird or a horse who deserved better than what it got. Picking up the gallon of milk, Jonah throws it at the dragon, told that it is a cryptochrome, and it has a protein in it that is sensitive to blue light that allows birds to see. Thanks to covering the eyes of the dragon, it is momentarily blinded, allowing Batman to pilot a remote helicopter into the beast's maw, its blades cutting its head clean off, as he can hear the Black Lantern creed in his ears again. Batman asks Hex if he thinks he chose him because of his belief about all living life, but Hex knows he chose him because he's a no-nonsense man and doesn't wear a cape. Batman tells him to get on the move, but before they do, Hex grabs the dragon's head, mounting it on their motorbike and honoring the creature for the gift of its life. Dark Knight's Death Metal Guidebook Issue 1 was a fun collection of tales from death metal, some of which are kinda required reading, especially the first one featuring Lex Luthor, which really fills out a lot of the blanks between the end of Scott Snyder's Justice League and death metal. I enjoyed seeing how the world fell to the Batman who laughs and his Batmen, and I got a pretty good laugh out of Captain Atom appearing to kind of be one of Earth's only defenders left, only to immediately get killed, since that's really all the hero is good for. All the big stories he's involved in, he always goes nuclear and destroys a huge chunk of the Earth or a city or something. The stories with Aquaman, Wonder Woman and Harley Quinn were all really great as well, and it was nice seeing Harley written by Chip Zdarsky, and Becky Cloonan's Aquaman story referencing the Ancient Mariner rhyme was pretty fantastic. Christopher Priest's Batman story was really fantastic as well, setting up a cool relationship between Bruce and Jonah, which we've seen for the first 3 issues of Death Metal, and I really like the idea of Batman coming up with a contingency not really for himself, but for one of his gadgets in a way, since he's using the Black Lantern ring, and then of course trusting Jonah with it, even though we know kind of Jonah dies and we haven't really heard about the bullet yet. All in all, this was a great collection of small stories that help build the world of Death Metal, and I personally think it's required reading. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.